Here's me running around my shop I have dedicated today to cleaning up. I've been talking about it and talking about it. So Tarnia, I'm finally doing it. I got some organizers at Harbor Freight, and I'm gonna see if I can use those to help me get it together. I have a little hard time stacking them at first, but I get it figured out. And I'm just organizing some things that have been laying around without homes. And I'm taking the time. These surfaces haven't been usable for such a long time. So I am getting rid of some things, and I had some empty containers. I had clock parts, that I had taken a clock apart, but those are the kinds of things that I like for mixed media art pieces, the gears and the hands and all that fun stuff, the face, so I am keeping them in a container and just kind of organizing everything. And like I said, I'm disposing of some things because I've been hoarding far too long. Now, I know some of this mess may not look better to you, but I've separated some things. So I got some chairs out for another chair party, project to finish. My counters are basically clear, so I'm happy about that. Now there's my handsome husband and I are going to the Goodwill. I normally don't make that a habit. I do sometimes. I love to watch thrifting videos and makeovers like that. And I'm actually going to be going on our local TV show, Studio 814, and I'm going to be talking about thrifted spring decor. So I see some good bargains. I think this was $6.99. I'm going to take that brand new photo frame. This was an IKEA curtain kind of thing, and then a tin and a Lazy Susan. It had $6.99 all over it, and then a $2.99 sticker, but I still had to pay $6.99. But I did get something for half price. So I'm starting to work on this tin a little bit and just cleaning it up. And I have an idea also for the IKEA curtain. So I'm getting started on some of these. I'm not going to complete them tonight, just to show you what is on my mind to do with them, and I get started with them. So I want to do this Millot's pages transfer, which are all like scientific, kind of botanical, and so there's florals and there's vegetables and fruits and fish and eggs and insects. It's so cool. So I've seen these. They're like a canvas, and it has wood at the top and the bottom and a string, and that's kind of what I want to go for, and I'm using that IKEA curtain to do so. So I'm flipping through this book, and the fish tears out immediately, and I'm thinking, should I use the fish? Was that meant to be? And I start looking through them again. And I'm really, really drawn to the floral. I just love the floral. And then I realized I missed a page, and that is mushrooms. How could I forget about the mushrooms? They're everywhere this year. But I'm going to do the floral. That's what my heart is calling me to do, because it really says spring to me. So I just tear that page out. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to actually do this. So I cut part of a sheet, and when I rolled it out and I realized there was this pattern on it, I was kind of a little disappointed, but I'm going to roll with it anyway. And there is like a middle sheet or a middle line that goes through it. So I'm going to use that kind of as a guideline. And I'm going to sort of explode what's on this page and still keep the image as it is, if that makes sense. That's sort of what my plan is. So I count those the words on the thing so I can get the center, because there's a center line. and I use my transfer stick. Now I'm on this table and it has sort of a foam backed tablecloth with another tablecloth underneath it. So it's a little spongy. It's not hard. So I really shouldn't be applying this transfer on this surface. And I discover that, and when I go further and do some of the other transfers, I get something a little bit firmer underneath there. So that's how things are progressing. It's kind of monotonous. It's really hard to get that transfer to stick on the fabric. So kind of gonna take a break with it and come back to that. I cut apart a few more images, but just for placement's sake. But like I said, I kind of just take a break on the application part of it, and I look at another project. So you saw the tin, the cookie tin. So I grabbed these two candlesticks from my own stash, and I'm planning on doing a tiered tray with them, with the top being more of a basket type as opposed to a tray. I'm using Dixie Belle Slick Stick, which is a bonding primer, and it's good to use whenever you're painting something like this, like glass or metal that has a super slick surface. The instructions actually tell you to do 2 coats and to wait overnight, but I'm not always one to follow the instructions. I just want to give it a little bonding power. And I also paint the inside because I want it to look very rustic, and I don't want that gold to show. So now I'm using a coat of Dixie Belle's drop cloth and letting that dry. And I'm using Loctite's glass glue to glue these 2 candlesticks together. This is the first time I ever used this glue. I wanted to make sure that my surfaces were both clean, and it took me a minute to actually figure out how to undo the cap and get it open. Normally you puncture it, and it was like that with this one too, but it was just a little different. So at first I was concerned that it wasn't going to stick, but then it totally grabbed on there. So I almost put it on the wrong way. So I decided I wanted the fancy part to be down, and then enough of a surface to grab onto the top. So I am looking at this transfer, which is the lavender, and there's 2 wreaths, and one's larger, and I'm going to reserve that for use with my Lazy Susan that I picked up. And then I'm going to use the smaller wreath on the bottom, and I'm using the sprigs that were on the inside, and I'm cutting them apart and using them on the outside edge of what will be the top part. It's looking really cute, and I'm going to use Dixie Belle's Easy Peasy Spray Wax. You always want to shake that until you can't hear it anymore. That's a tip. But just spray it and wipe it, and then I'm going to use some black wax. I kind of thought I would use brown originally, but then I just grabbed the black, and sometimes it's unexpected. You never know how something's going to look, but I ended up really loving this look. So I just go around the edges using the Easy Peasy wax first. And just, remember, when you do use a dark wax on a surface like that, as long as you use the clear wax first, then you can it's a lot easier because it doesn't grab onto the surface as much, and you definitely can use the clear wax as sort of an eraser if you get too much in one place. So I decide to glue the pieces on, and I continue to use the glass glue. I was going to use E6000, and then I just decided to go with the glass glue because I figured the metal was kind of a shiny, smooth surface as well. So after some positioning, I glued it. This is my eyeballing. So anyway, I glued it together, and next week I'm going to show you the completed projects. So I'm going to let this one dry. And then the other one, this is on the back of my recliner, but that's what it's looking like. And this is a picture of one that I took at Michael's that I'm kind of patterning it. And I'm going to be ordering this lath from Lowe's. Thank you so much for watching today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please, and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe. And also hit the notifications bell so you don't miss anything. Visit us at lavintagedecor.company, and also on Instagram we're LaVintage Decor. On Facebook we're LaVintage Decor Altoona. Stay well.